What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Malcolm Tibbs. I spent 25 years getting inconsistent results in my love life, and now not only do I have a fulfilling relationship, I also have the ability to go out and snap my fingers and have half a dozen dates lined up within a week. Now, I've been doing self-improvement for about 8 years, and by far the best way to improve yourself, the best catalyst for you as a man, is going to be getting a girlfriend. Getting a girlfriend is going to force you to develop a set of skills that you just cannot develop by working more hours or going to the gym and getting bigger muscles. And believe me, I've done both of those things. I'm a veteran. I was able to retire myself at the age of 24 using some of my veteran benefits. I served in the Air Force, and I'm not the most muscular dude out there, but I have some mass on me, okay? I'm at 195 right now, doing a little bit of a bulk. But by far, the best thing for me in terms of overall enjoyment of life and actually being able to, access some of those doors that were previously closed off to me, getting a girlfriend, okay? Getting a girlfriend is going to level up your social skills like nothing else because it's going to involve you doing some things that you have not done before if you don't have the ability to just line up a couple dates within a week, okay? I came from having a girlfriend here or there, mainly when women chose me or they went out of their way to pursue me and made it like impossible to fail. Being on the opposite end, actually like instead of playing the defense in relationships, being able to go on the offense, being able to go up to a girl and get her phone number and knowing how to set up a date and how to turn that date into a sexual relationship, being able to do that yourself as a man, it is going to open so many doors for you. But I feel like the biggest benefit to doing that is it's going to allow you to go harder, okay? Once you actually get the ability to go out and date and you can find the girl that you want and you can approach her and you get rid of all that approach anxiety, you're going to be able to find your favorite. All right. It's kind of like going to a restaurant. You're going to want to try everything on the menu. You're going to sleep with this girl. You're going to sleep with that girl. But eventually, you're going to find one that just works for you. And every time you go to the restaurant, you're going to order the same thing. OK, it's the same thing with dating. You're going to try all the different relationships, but you're going to find a girl who supports you. All right. She may not be the prettiest. She may not be the youngest. She may not come from the richest family, whatever it is that you think is what you're looking for. Right. In my experience, the woman who is willing to go the furthest for you is going to end up being your favorite. She's going to be the girl who you wake up beside her and she's folding your clothes for you. And then she's making you food and washing your dishes for you without you even having to ask, right? She is almost making herself like an employee of your enterprise. If your life were to be like a company, she is making herself an employee, almost like an unpaid intern. You want that kind of a woman. Because once you have that, not only is it going to be easier for you to spend more hours at the gym or doing more work, you're also going to have another reason to do those things. Because now you're not playing just by yourself. You're not playing solo. It's like you have a squad. And it's like, okay, I have to go harder for my squad. It's like if you've ever played Fortnite, all right? Playing by yourself, it's fun, sure, right? And it's always super fun when you get a win by yourself. But when you're on a team, you're much more coordinated. You're making better decisions. It feels sweeter when you win. It's like, God, we did that together, right? It's the same exact thing when you have a relationship, okay? I'm just speaking from my own experience. I've been doing self-improvement for 8 years. I've read all the books, so many books. I've messed up quite a bit. I've learned a lot of lessons, made a lot of mistakes. But I'm telling you from my own experience, everything got better when I got a girlfriend. And to even predate that, everything got better when I decided I was going to get off of my ass, go outside, and develop the skill of approaching women and being able to get rejected. And not only like having this habit, but reflecting on what I'm doing and improving the habit, right? There's a thing where you can go out and you can work on your rejections and you can get pretty good at getting rejected and you're not afraid of it anymore. But the issue is if you don't reflect on your reps, well, then you're just going to end up repeating the same thing and you're not going to get better. You're going to get rid of your anxiety. And that's a huge first step in terms of like growing into manhood. But it doesn't really equate to anything if you're not doing the extra little 30 minutes of review after every rep, okay? So if you want to improve as a man, and I mean in all areas, get a girlfriend. Now, if you're interested in landing your first date within 30 days, check the link in the description below. I have an online community. It's filled with other single men who are focused on improving their dating skills. It's completely free. You can swap notes, you can get feedback, maybe even find a wingman in your area. And inside, you're going to find a 30-day challenge, which goes over all the steps that you need to take in order to land your first date. Because it really is that easy, guys. If you just make some minor tweaks in how you live your life and you make those tweaks consistent, you turn them into habits, you're going to turn into a social person. All right? You're going to turn into the kind of person that women want to be around, the kind of person that women want to give their phone number. But you don't end up in that situation unless you actually go outside of your way and you start talking to strangers everywhere that you go, every place, everywhere that you meet them, men, women, and children. You talk to people everywhere. You get over that anxiety. That also means you have to go outside the house and you have to stop watching videos about how to be a better dater and what the best pickup lines are. You actually just have to go get some experience, right? And that was a huge thing for me. I read a book called No More Mr. Nice Guy, Dating Essentials for Men by Robert Glover. And that book is gold. If you're still watching at this point, we're over 6 minutes in. Pick the book up and read it. It will change your life, okay? But the entire point of the book is to get you off of your ass and to go get some reps in the field, all right? He doesn't give you any pickup lines. He just gives you practical perspective on how you're living and how you can start to get the things that you want. Because when you really think about it, it is really simple. If you want to get a girlfriend, it's going to involve you going out of your way and talking to people, a lot of people. And some of those conversations are going to result in phone numbers, like you guys are going to exchange contact information. And some of those like text messages or like those texting conversations are going to turn into dates. And some of those are going to turn into sexual relationships. And some of those are going to turn into actual fulfilling relationships. But that means you have to talk to a lot of people. Because if we have a 1% conversion on all of those, right? Let's say you talk to 100 people and only one of those ends up as a phone number. And you have 100 texting conversations and only one of those ends up as an actual date. And you go on 100 dates, and in my experience, it's way greater than 1%. By the time a woman's invested enough to go on a date with you, she's probably already invested enough to sleep with you, as long as you don't mess it up. But just for the sake of, to play devil's advocate, let's assume it's only 1% of all your dates that actually wants to go home to your condo and you end up having sex with them. And now let's assume only 1% of those women actually turn into an actual relationship, right? That means you're talking to somewhere to like 10,000 people in order to get that girlfriend. And of course, we're blowing the numbers out of proportion, but you need to understand that it is a numbers game at the end of the day. And that means you have to develop a set of skills at every single level. And you can only do so by getting more reps. You have to put yourself out there. If you take nothing else away from this video, you have to start putting yourself out there, because working harder and going to the gym and avoiding eye contact with your gym crush and just staying at home and looking at your bank account, that isn't going to get you a girlfriend in no world. If you don't do the very basic things that is required to get to know somebody and to build comfort and to build attraction and then eventually to seduce, right? Those are all skills. And when you learn those skills, the thing is, they work with men too, right? You don't have to escalate to the point where you're having sex with the man, but you can use those skills to get a new job, right? You can use those skills to stop the businessman that you see at Starbucks and maybe network with him, and maybe he has a really good opportunity for you, right? And then you're going to end up becoming a leader naturally, especially when you have a girlfriend. I think it's the best way to develop frame as a man. I think it's the only way to really develop frame as a man, right? You're going to have to lead your girlfriend through the relationship. You're going to have to make decisions for the both of you, okay? And that is going to be instrumental if you are ever going to end up in a boss type of position, right? An entrepreneurial kind of CEO type of position. You need to know how to be a leader, okay? Dating, having a girlfriend, all of that, it is a meta skill. And that means It is a set of skills which you can use everywhere else, right? Or in most other areas of life. Kind of like learning how to read. You learn how to read once, all of a sudden now you have access to books. Now you have access to the internet. Now you have access to street signs and ordering things on a menu, right? Reading is a meta skill the same way that dating is a meta skill. And again, if you want to improve as a man, it's the best way for you to do so. That's all that I have for you guys. My name is Malcolm Tibbs. Again, if you want to land your first date within the next 30 days, check the link in the description below. It's entirely free, just a community of other single men. They're swapping notes, find a wingman in your area, right? Super cool, super good stuff happening in there. We're getting new members every day, so I'm stoked about it. Besides that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this with a friend. I'll see you guys in the next one.